What's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be spotlighting another one of those niche Pokemon that we also love, and today it's going to be Bronzong's time to shine. So, in previous videos we've been looking at like stuff like Serena, stuff like Braviary, and even Goodra for that matter. And now Bronzong's turn is up. So basically, Bronzong is one of those Pokemon that I feel like no matter what game or what generation or what format you can play it in, and Bronzong's always going to be good in some shape or form, right? Because you look at its stats, it's actually pretty good in terms of like its bulk and what it's supposed to do. It's very slow, so it's great into Trick Room. The bulk for 116 defense and 116 special defense, phenomenal. The HP is a little bit low, 67, but again, you're just maxing this anyway, right? So you have that going for it. And then Bronzong's got this niche where like it can definitely do well against a lot of what's running around in Regulation C. Whereas like Regulation A and B, it didn't quite fit the build for trying to run Bronzong. But now with things like Wo-Chien, then Chi-Yu, Chien-Pao, and then speaking of Chi-Yu, we'll throw that in there. And then the last one being Ting-Lu. Think about it, all these things are fighting types. Dark types, and they're all weak to a fighting type attack. So basically, if you just consider like Body Press over here, and then Iron Defense, now a lot of these Pokemon, they can't really touch the Bronzong, right? So Chien-Pao, what is Chien-Pao doing to Bronzong? Nothing, right? It just dies to a Body Press. I don't even know if you need to go to like +6 over here. Wo-Chien, same idea. It just, you don't have time to Leech Seed it. It just clicks Iron Defense. It already has leftovers anyway, so that Leech Seed gets more or less negated, and then you can just Body Press this thing and it dies, right? Ting-Lu, same idea. Ting-Lu can't even hit it, and that's the other niche that you can consider with Bronzong in this kind of format, is that Ting-Lu, with all this ground stuff with Fissure, OHKOing, and then Stomping Tantrum, it does nothing to Bronzong because you have Levitate. So how are you hitting this Bronzong? So the only other thing you can do is either rely on the not very effective Heavy Slam, and then if they have it, Ruination, I guess. But again, this is never killing, because you just get it down to half always, and then Bronzong just clicks Iron Defense, Body Press, and Ting-Lu just dies, right? So the only thing you really have to watch out for is the Chi-Yu, and you can live you can live Heat Wave, but you don't live Overheat. So that's the only thing you really have to watch out for with Bronzong, okay? But other than that, if you just get up Trick Room anyway, then the Chi-Yu just drops, regardless to the Body Press, all right? And then the last move here, you can just consider Gyro Ball. And then now, if we know who's weak to Gyro Ball, just consider like the Flutter Mane, right? Which is basically up to like 70% usage. I saw that graphic on the EUIC. Bronzong just drops the Flutter Mane with the Gyro Ball. Flutter Mane can't do anything to hit it. The Fairy move does not. Well, I shouldn't say that. It has Shadow Ball, but if you can consider how we want to EV this. So here's the spread, right? So this might look weird, considering an Iron Defense Body Press set, but if you go Sassy, and if you go to right around this much, right, 196, and then just 60 defense. So what this does, it actually lets you live the Shadow Ball. And I have the calc here. So here's the Bronzong set, 196. You live a Choice Specs Flutter Mane Shadow Ball. I repeat, Choice Specs Shadow Ball Flutter Mane. You live it. Here's the calc on your screen right here, 97%, and then you just drop it to a Shadow Ball. So this is it. I know, again, it looks a little weird with the, because you technically want more defense for the Body Press, but you have to be able to live that first. All right, so get off your Trick Room and then click the Gyro Ball, then you're able to kill it, right? So I would still run this investment regardless of this Iron Defense Body Press set, right? So that's also really, really interesting, in the niche. But then if you look at like some of the other Pokemon that Bronzong can do well against, so besides the Flutter Mane, right? We already talked about Chi-Yu. So Amoongus is going to have its issues, right? Because first of all, the Clearest Mob for your Steel type, and then Pollen Puff does minimal chip damage. Yes, it'll spore you, but eventually you're going to wake up and you just Body Press and it dies. Ting-Lu, we said. Dragonite, again, Dragonite, what's that doing, right? It's doing Outrage, not very effective. Terra Blast, Terra Flying, not very effective. Extreme Speed, not very effective. Ice Spinner or these other tech moves, Low Kick, either it's neutral or not very effective. So Dragonite will eventually drop to, Body Press, Sass, Gyro Ball stuff. Arcanine is the one thing that it has, can do against Bronzong. But again, if you just get off those Iron Defenses, then you can't really kill it. And then at the same time, look, you have Terastallization in this game. So now you just make this Terra Water. And now what is the Chi-Yu and the Arcanine doing? Not that much. So you have that going for you. Then if you go down, Iron Bundle drops the body press. Palafin, again, it has priority. Your trick room doesn't matter, but if you have those iron defenses set up, even just one iron defense, that's already pretty good enough against this Palafin. You can just body press it and it just drops. Glamora, same thing. You have the body press for that, even the Gyro Ball for that matter. Iron Hands, the fighting move is neutral. The electric move, okay, again, neutral, and then you can just slowly remove it with body presses. I know it has a lot of physical defense, but again, you're going to win this end game because you have leftovers recovery, and I know they have Drain Punch too, but if you can just get to +6, you're eventually going to win that matchup because Iron Hands, unless it has like some kind of Swords Dance, it's just not going to be able to break you. We discussed Wo-Chien. Gyarados, same idea. Again, the Waterfall, not really going to do a whole lot. It does have Taunt. I will give it that. Okay, so you can stop the iron defenses that way, but at the same time, you know, can Gyarados really beat it? Not really. All right, Dondozo, same idea. Again, they run Earthquake, that doesn't hit, you know, Bronzong, and then the water move, okay, again, body press, iron defenses. Goldango, again, Shadow Ball, but if you're living Fluttermane, you're definitely living this. And then this is maybe the one thing that can, you know, do something against the Bronzong, but again, all right, that's one, okay, because your body press and your Gyro Ball doesn't really hit this very well. Tatsugiri goes to the Bronzong. Great Tusk, you know, again, ground move, can't hit it. Fighting stuff is neutral. You're gonna win that matchup. And Mouse Hold, body press that thing to death. Annihilate, again, ghost coverage, yes, you can break it a little bit, but again, iron defenses. So if you can set it up, Annihilate is gonna have a little bit more of a harder time beating it, and then you can just Gyro Ball it slowly to death. All right, Talonflame, okay, you can Wisp, you can Taunt, sure. Back Scalper, body press that thing. King Gambit, same thing, body press it. Garchomp can't hit it. You know, Dragon Claw, not very effective. The 2 ground stabs that Garchomp has, you can't hit it. So look at all this niche that Bronzong has against all these Pokemon. Roy Moon, Tyranitar, again, dies to body press, can't really hit it. Yes, there's Terrestrialization, but you know, these are still physical attackers, and again, if you're able to get off these iron defenses, then you're gonna do well. I could go on, but I'm not going to. That's already the top like 30, if anything, maybe 20ish. So the other idea that you can do. Oh, before I even get into that, where was the team that did well with it? Right here. So if we look at the Duran's tour, over here, and again, Bronzong finished first place, which is why we're kind of doing this video. Look at the set that they have here. I believe it's the same one that we have, right? And it makes a lot of sense. So like, if I told you had to be prepared for Bronzong, you would think like, wait, what? Why? No, who's being prepared for Bronzong? Which is why it works on a team like this. Yeah, Arcanine, Amoongus, Palafin, of course. Then you have the Fluttermane, and then the Chien-Pao over here. You could easily just put in like a Dragon type over here, like a Dragonite, for example, and the team works. But Bronzong also has this niche. You can even put in King Gambit. I saw this in, you know, Fort Wayne. Instead of the Bronzong slot, it was a Swords Dance King Gambit. I believe it was Luca. So that also works too. And then what you can even do in this regard, you can even just swap out the Chien-Pao and put in the Ting-Lu. You're going to lose a little bit of offense that way from the Arcanine and the Palafin and even your Chien-Pao. But then at the same time, you just make the entire team relatively bulky, and then the Bronzong becomes impossible to break, right? So first of all, shout outs to Mushi over here for getting first place in this tour. But again, what you can do, and here's another idea for your pairings, is you can definitely run Earthquake now with your Ting-Lu side by side with this Bronzong, because now what you're able to do is after you set off these iron defenses to boost up your defenses, and now Ting-Lu can provide that support by reducing special attack damage, and then you can just Earthquake next to the Bronzong. That's a good combination in itself. So there's an idea if you want to try and team build with Bronzong, and then from there you could just run the pretty standard set with the Ting-Lu stuff. But ideally, Arcanine comes for more Intimidate support. Again, you're going to want Amoongus here. Amoongus makes a lot of this work just because you're able to redirect stuff, set up that Trick Room, you know, provide, you know, Spore Pressure, you know, in Trick Room, for example. So that also works. And then your offense is just going to come from the Palafin, and it's going to come from the Fluttermane, right? So this is basically a 6 that you can definitely try. Instead of the Bronzong, again, we mentioned that you can put King Gambit here, and this 6 works. So this is another way that you can run this 6 if you're, you know, considering using it. But, you know, this is what I would consider in terms of like, how would I try and use Bronzong? I would just do something like this, right? So, you know, if you had to route out the rest of the team, you could just do, you know, something that's relatively standard. with what you have here. So in terms of the Ting-Lu, you have Earthquake, of course. Then you're just gonna have Ruination for, you know, that extra chip damage. You know, so this way body presses doesn't have to go to +6 to finish things off. Then you can just do like Stomping Tantrum and then Fissure, right? You don't really need the Steel move, right? Because you have Bronzong, you know, clicking Gyro Ball, so that's also okay. Arcanine here, you know, just pretty much just run like a very standard like safety goggles set, and then you're just kind of chilling over there, and then just do like standard Flare Blitz, you know, extreme speed. All right, Will-O-Wisp, and then just Protect, right? A very, very standard set that you want out of the Arcanine over here. Palafin, same idea. Amoongus, more or less the same thing. You know, you can just do like, again, Rage Powder, Spore, Pollen Puff, and then Protect, right? And then the Palafin can just have like Haze stuff, which is, again, relatively standard. I like Rocky Helmet here now just to be able to break Sash on the Qianpao and also break Dragonite Multiscale. That's also very standard. The Palafin here, of course, Mystic Water, and then Wave Crash, and then, of course, over here, you can then do Jet Punch. Then you can do Haze, like we said, and then Protect, right? Now, because you're losing the Qianpao for the added, or, you know, for the defense reduction to make, you know, your Palafins and Arcanines do more damage. So what you can do instead for compensation is just run Howl on the Arcanine over here. So you can do like Howl instead of the Extreme. Yeah, you can forgo the Extreme C. I know Extreme C is like really, really good. But you could do Howl, Will-O-Wisp, and then Protect over here. If you really want the Extreme C, you can definitely forego the Protect. But the only thing with this is if you're doing open team sheet and they know your Arcanine doesn't have Protect, they might just double him on that side. But you could definitely do this just for a little bit of compensation. And now your Palafin can still do a bunch of damage even without the Qianpao stuff. But again, even with King Gambit, this is still the set that, you know, you can definitely use, you know, regardless. And then over here, Flutter Mane, you can just do like a booster energy set. All right, what I would do now is Moonblast, Shadow Ball. You know, Gyarados looks interesting in trying to move, so I would just do like Thunderbolt here just for a little bit of coverage and then Protect. All right, and then this is the 6, right? And then just do like Terra Fairy, you know, then Palafin's Terra Water, that's okay. Terra Grass and Amoongus, just make it Water. Arcanine, you know, you already have that, so let's go with Water over here. You know what you can also technically do is like Terra Flying Arcanine, right? So because this way you get a little bit more of an added security against another Ting-Lu, and you can still Earthquake next to it, you know, in that regard. So yeah, I definitely want to do this, you know, in terms of the Arcanine over here. So that makes, yeah, that's pretty good. And then, you know, you don't have to take that super effective Stomping Tantrum anyway. So then from here, you know, you can just do like Terra Grass, because an opposing Amoongus is annoying. But yeah, I would just do this. Right, and then from here you can just do like general EV spreads. I think you always go like Adamant here, in terms of your Ting-Lu. All right, and then just do max special defense always, and then just 1 point in your bulk, like in something like this, right? The Arcanine, because you're going for like these fast howls. Well, first let's decide. Yeah, actually, let's just do it like this. So what I would do is this. I would do like Jolly. I would do right here. 204 just to outspeed the other Arcanines that want to outspeed a Great Tusk, so that way you can Will-O-Wisp it. But then do like max attack Arcanine, all right, believe it or not, and then just a little bit of HP in this regard, right? Something like this. Or you can even do, or if you, no, I want max Arcanine. Yeah, max speed, or almost max speed, but like max attack Arcanine with Howl. This is actually pretty funny. So now your Arcanine is just actually able to do some damage with your Flare Blitzes. So in that regard, sure. Then the Amoongus, again, just a little bit of optimization here. You know, of course, the 219 mark just optimizes regenerator recovery, a perfect 73. Relaxed nature for, you know, the physical side. Then the rest just goes here. And, you know, 0 IVs for Trick Room stuff for sure. Then the Palafin, a little bit of speed. I like to go to 60 right here, just to outspeed some other Palafins. Or rather most of them, and then go to the benchmark right here, 236. Again, if you don't know what benchmarks are, if you don't know what EV bumps are, feel free to comment in the video. I say this all the time, but again, if you're trying to play competitive Pokemon and if you don't know what benchmarks or EV bumps are, feel free to ask me and then I'll explain what those are. All right, and then from here, you just do this, right? Just very quick, you know, general spreads here, and then of course the HP over there for a little bit of bulk. Flutter Mane, so I like you know, just a little bit of, I like Modest Nature, of course. And, you know, you can definitely do like max speed like this and then 116 investment, where you're just, again, able to get the special attack boost. And then from there, This is really all you need with defense. I just like this much. I believe this is like the Neil set where you're just able to live a regular Palafin Jet Punch, you know, even if it is Mystic Water. So I think that's okay. And now you want to be max speed modest because a lot of them, they're running about this much or right around this much just to outspeed Garchomp. So everybody's going to be speed creeping each other. If you want, you can just go to 181. This will outspeed Mousehold, and then you get a little bit of bulk that you can play with and just add it into defense like this. Or you can just say, you know what, I just want to be max speed and outspeed every single modest Flutter main. So this way, in a best of 3 tournament, if I know that I'm going first, then I know he's just like a slower, bulkier, modest set, right? And this is it. This is a very, very general spread, very general team that you can definitely take on the ladder and try out Bronzong for yourself. But yeah, I really think it has a pretty cool niche in this meta. All right, so if you want to do a bulky core like this, here it is. And again, if you're interested in building a team like this, all right, and if you're trying to get ready for a regional, an upcoming ladder tournament, or just for something for ladder in general, check out coaching on the channel. Again, that's a tier 3 sub for the channel. If you look in the video description or in the comments section, there is a pinned comment where, you know, we have a link to join the channel with the tier 3 sub. And then once you do, you're able to message me on Discord. And then from there, we coordinate a one-on-one Discord call where we discuss how to build the squad that you want. We hash out all the EV spreads like this. And then from there, you know, we just, you know, play test it a little bit if we have time. But again, ultimately, just to get you that squad that you need for that upcoming tournament that you're going to be trying to play in, or that, you know, just a ladder team if that's all you want. All right. But let me know what you think of Bronzong. And if you have used Bronzong, let me know how you have used it. We'll put this Poke Paste in the video description as well. But other than that, that'll be it for now, folks. Peace out and have a good one.